Hello, everybody. It is Friday the 14th, 2021, and I hope each and every one of you are doing well today. So, many things coming through from my guides all night long. And this morning, all I'm hearing is those who are on the side of the light and exposure and all these things that what the Supreme Justice System ruled on yesterday was a victory. It's like, oh yeah, see, they can't do that. Oh yeah. And I'm like, do you not see how the tables were just turned? And people that are just not thinking outside the box and looking at the bigger picture here. On one hand, you're thinking a victory is they can't mandate 100 or more to be you know what. And on the other hand, they're saying if you're federally funded, you got the go ahead, you got the green light. And many people that are outside of, say, the federally funded companies are like, oh, yeah, doesn't affect me, I'm good. All you people are going to rethink your federal funding. But what they don't get is the federal funding is what keeps many of these institutions alive. Let's just name a couple. If your child has autism, severe learning disabilities, retardation, brain damage, etc., you become a ward of the state and you're in institutions because the family would go broke trying to support a child, no matter whatever reason that is. Same with these schools with learning disabilities. They're federally funded. When you turn 65, you're entitled to Medicare. Medicare is a system that is in place for people who are older, who have paid their dues to society and don't have the larger incomes they had before. So it allows them to have assistance. So in other words, if a bill was $2,000, Medicare covers $1,000 of it, right? And then they provide you with inexpensive supplemental insurance so you can have a backup. So let's say the supplemental insurance covers $300 and then the remaining $600 is thrown out the window. It's a write-off. It's a complete write-off. Medicaid is designed state by state for lower income individuals and families to be able to have insurance and then go to the network primary cares and places that accept that as a payment. But it's also covered in hospitals or if you travel, same with Medicare, etc. So those are federally funded programs as well. Now let's just take the last 2 years when we've had businesses run out of business, we've had people off of work that no longer can pay their insurance premiums and had to apply for Medicaid so that they have insurance to cover prescriptions, cover when you're sick. And are we not in the middle of a sick pandemic where everybody's running to the doctors for every little thing? And so now what happens? Those institutions that accept Medicare, Medicaid can now tell all of their employees that they're required to have it if that's what they choose to do. And then what happens to the next step? What's the next step you think might be occurring? Well, if you get any funding for anything, whether it's food stamps, Medicaid, extra medical stuff, Medicare. Now we're going to require you to have it, or we're just going to cut you off. So do you see where I'm going with all of this? And so in the beginning, when everybody was in this, you either get this or you don't. They were convincing you with all of the reasons why you need to get this, but nobody was really, unless you were searching for it, getting the opposite side of what could occur if you did get it. So this is being hush-hushed, and only why you should is being posted out. And unless you're someone like me and others who want to do more research, you're not going to find all the things that could be hazardous. But now those are coming up to the surface more and more and more, as well as those who have had this are realizing they were never protected anyway, and that they were going to have to continue with more. And then almost everyone I know that's in the medical field is in an uproar because there was no immunization or no you-know-what that ever required anyone to ever wear a mask after they received that. So now what you have is a lot of people becoming wise to all the little end games and hovering a little bit over a bigger picture. And it boils down to tyranny. It boils down to the government, controlling what it is you can and cannot do, and there's no way to get out of it unless people have an uproar. And that takes courage and that takes action. It doesn't have to be violence. So I'm not promoting that at all. But you do have to rise up, wake up, and allow your voice to be heard so that your voice joins another voice, that joins another voice, that joins another voice. And next thing you know, you have a whole community voice. And so, this is also when you come down to our rights of two things. One, church and state don't mix. Now that's been in the Constitution and everything else for a long time. That's getting pulled on, okay? And then you have your belief system exemption. And that's in question. Because unless you word it right, an employer or someone can say, well, I believe you, and not so much you, and not so much you. Or it's all of you are full of crap, that's no longer allowed. So if you don't see the fact that these freedoms, your freedom of choosing what you feel is best for you on your belief system for yourself and for your family, is being targeted right there in your face. And so I have said all along for several years now, we were going to come down to something, and it was going to be a matter of who can you trust. And of course, we're being shown who you can and who you can't trust. You're being shown the corruption across the board of everything. And so I have said that everybody's going to have to feel it deep in their visceral DNA. It can't be like, okay, well, I'm safe. My household's safe. That none of that didn't affect me, and that's not going to affect me, and this isn't going to affect me. But when you're getting down to, let's just go with Medicare and Medicaid. Everybody's got an elderly parent. There are some people that are out of work that have to be on Medicaid. Someone else may have had a brain injury child at birth and they live in a facility. Somebody might have a learning disability that the county schools can't handle, so now they get to go to another school and learn differently, and so it's supplemented. So we all have these people that we know, and what's happening is the vice grip is getting a little bit tighter, a little closer to home, a little closer to home, so there's no more of this even 1 degree of separation. It's getting narrower margin than that. So this isn't a win-win. It shows the faces of those who are corrupt and how easily something can be overturned. And this isn't a wait and see game. This is a time now where you really need to tune in and you need to do some soul searching. And that's where we have another mass confusion, because everyone thinks their soul is their logical thinking noggin, and it's not. Most people have no idea their soul's been buried for so many thousands of years that you've no freaking clue what your soul is and what its mission is and what it needs to do. But there is one thing that most people who anchor and hold light and believe in a higher, greater source is how to be as authentic and as truthful as you can, and then how to put that into place on each day. So this is a time where all systems are going to need to work together. And this can't be glossed over and assumed that we're going to win at the end. Other people are doing the work for us. No. We have to collectively and individually start asking our inner antenna, our ears, eyes, lips, and heart to the Prime Creator within us and within the all of the Prime Creator. It has to be shown, what is my part in this? And how can I be of assistance and find my mission while I'm here? There's missions, because there's tasks and missions, right? That's why I made an analogy one day. It's like, you're going to build a house, you don't show up with all carpenters. So it's a whole intricate thing that has to happen before any kind of building can occur. And then when the building occurs, there's the multitude of contractors that need to be there to make a house, just a house. The home comes when people are in it and bring in all their stuff, right? We're being separated more and more and more. And pulling us back together is going to take us one person at a time, echoing out and gathering others. Because even if you don't know what's going on in all the details, the one thing you do know is something isn't right. Something's headed down the runaway train tracks. And we all know if it keeps going, there's going to be a crash and burn, but it's going to drag a lot of people with it. So how do we step in and avoid the harm and the harms that are about to occur? And so if you believe that you came here to be a part of this freedom march, so to speak, and maybe some of you were here back in 1750, 60, 70, and 80, when the United States fought together to become the states. And every other country is looking at us. And we're also looking at them. Because if you don't think for 1 second that we aren't at the years building up to World War II, then y'all are not doing your soul searching and your true history searching. Because that's where we are. Don't wait till the lines are drawn and the papers have to be shown. You stop this shit before it occurs. Because if you can work towards not allowing it not to have a knot tied versus trying to undo the knot, which way do you think is a little better way to go? Prevent. So please start gathering yourself together and make the time to commune with your guides and your spirit. And make the time to listen to what is happening, but listen in an objective way. So, okay, I might not be drawn quite to that or quite to that. So where am I here? So before you go attaching to anything, make sure that this is authentically grounded and in tune, and be able to listen with more than just your ears and your eyes. Because the master of listening is the feeling. And that's a whole other video, folks. So the time is now to align with your divine. And the other divines that you're aligning will all come together to help each other. It's a lot to think about, but everybody is about to get splashed with a bucket of ice water. And there's some painful ice in there. I don't even want to go down any more of that. But before, and they just said to me, we're entrained to believe it gets worse before it gets better. We're entrained to believe that you got to wipe out to start over. That's crap. That is crap. No pain, no gain. No. This is our godly duty. And we're not just protecting ourselves, we're protecting the generations to come. So take a look at the little people. Take a look at the babies, grandchildren, and what's coming. I know for me, when I think back to even just independence of America, I think of the courage that all these people had, and then the ones that had to endure pain and suffering to get to where we are now. And to only find out that we're there again. And what are you made of? What are you made of? And how? How can your time, your talent, and your treasury be of assistance? And the only way to know how you can be of true assistance is to begin to hone in. Begin to hone in, and then begin to observe, really observe, and ask your innate God source intelligence to help you and to open up more so that you can really filter this information, so you can figure out where it is you need to anchor, pivot, turn, weave, and assist. Just breathe on that. Much love. Much love. Much love.